madness. Welcome back to Hakskeen Pan. It's time, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, motorsport fans and speed freaks, is to make some proper noise. Bloodhound SLR is behind us. They've dished these little things over here and they've said it's very loud, and when there's noise, there's a stripe in the ground. We can't stand on this side of the stripe where I am now. We've sorted out our previous issue where one of the guys said to me that you can't be on this side, but I said to him, can I be on that side? So we've sorted that out and we got that. I'm supposed to put these in my ears because health and safety. Well, because what are they going to do now? You'll see there's some pipes and some things, and there's a jet cart that is next to the vehicle. And they're going to blow, I suppose in its simplest terms, blow some hot air into the jet engine and turn it, and that will then start turning over the jet engine. This will allow a number of electronic tests to take place, because there's quite a lot of computers that do computer thingies, and they have to talk to each other. And you guys who love motor racing will know that there's limits and warnings and ups and downs and all sorts of things that can go wrong in the systems. So this is a systems check. The vehicle will start and run probably on Thursday or Friday of this week. Next 5 weeks are running and building up to various bits of speed. We spoke earlier to Ian Warhurst, who's the rescuer of the project. I'm just going to stick this in here. Henk, I hope I can find it here again. We spoke to him earlier about the South African land speed record, which is 503 kilometers an hour, and rather, suggested that they were going to go 500 miles an hour. We believe in steps. So the steps are to validate design parameters on the system, to validate how the vehicle moves. Can it turn? Is it able to turn at the ends of each of the runway? Is it able to, is it stable? Are the aerodynamics kind of the baseline that they've got? Do they correlate to the CFD? The level of wind that they can operate in, what does that do for the stability of the whole project? So the first couple of runs will be at around about 100 miles an hour, and they'll go faster and faster in relatively small increments, with the plan of having done 500 miles an hour, 800 kilometers an hour for us in the real world. That's the plan, and for this series of runs, which ends in around about 4 weeks. So I think I'm going to stand over here, because this is actually quite a thing of beauty, this car. Just talking about its plans in its run up. Does the windscreen has got it's got to be fitted, and there's a couple of issues around the pressure and the speed as it goes out of here. And the team with their bright ear muffs. So that's goodie in the trailer. What's that? What color is that? It's a kind of a snot green. That green trailer has got the jet engine in it, which will do the warm-up. Interesting, over a couple of days, some of the things that have come out of this whole project is the extent of the track, they're calling it, the road, the desert, the pan, the flat, that it is flat. From one end, 18 kilometers, to the other end, there's about a 50 centimeter drop, which is actually less than the curvature of the Earth. So in technical terms, from an Earth point of view, it's not really flat, because that would give it some curvature. It's it's flat. But when something's flat, leaning on the edge of the circle, one might say, maths and science and technology and all that junk, it's tangential to the Earth's surface. 18 kilometers up and down, with the 1 mile, 1.6 kilometers in the central area. We're going to have a look a little bit later, go up to the traffic control center that they've got there. For those of you who've been to Speed Weeks, you'll see it's in the MTN tower. And thanks, MTN, for putting your relatively fast communications here. We kind of need that. So in the testing, they go out towards the run, which is in the middle of the pan, and they'll see if they can turn, go left and go right, and in the run, when they do in order for a run to be recorded as a proper record, it's the average speed across the 1.6 kilometers within an hour. So you go one way, measure the wind, turn around, and start the run before the elapsing of an hour. We kind of I was challenged to see if I could carry on talking from the time we went live until the time this thing goes live. I've accepted this challenge with great confidence. This is probably the fastest land-based vehicle in the world. And talking of speed, got to say a huge thank to Ride Fast magazine for having the vision and the guts, the balls to join us in this project and help us to in our journey as we try and tell the story of a fast car with a fast magazine. Yeah, we know that it's all about motorbikes, but Rob Portman, you understand speed, you understand passion, you understand petrol heads and the love that people have for anything that is seriously fast. So this is not so much about this, in some terms, not so much about the ultimate speed that this thing can do, but about the engineering and the science and the knowledge and the challenges to go from where they are now, which thing doesn't even start, to 1,600 kilometers an hour. Lots of engineering, lots of designing, lots of systems, lots of technology. I did have a good look at it for those of you who follow us on Waved Yellow. There is duct tape. I found the duct tape on the car. And there's lots and lots of tie wraps. And there even is some unobtainium. That silver bit on the front, printed titanium, is a titanium steering wheel. It's all so fully cool. But we will get to have a look at it. So, team brief. Start the journey from nothing to 1,600 kilometers an hour. That's kind of fast. The wheels, 900 millimeters in diameter. It's like, is it a boat? Is it a car? Hell, we don't know. The reason I say that, this is the surface, and in some places, here's a nice hard bit. So the surface is hard there, but there's a crust. And here we go. Henk, if you can follow me here. So there's the hard bit, and just under the hard bit, it's all junky. If you had I suppose it would be a colloidal fluid, where you could say that the sand acts in some ways like a fluid. And in order these are the ruts when they brought the thing in, and it's like a plow. And instead of trying to plow the lands, well, it's not very lacquer doing that, but it uses up a truckload of power. So what about the crazy ideas that come in these kind of projects is getting the car to ski on top of the surface. So how do you design a wheel with the right lead-in angle to get the car to, think of a hydroplane boat, and when it's moving, or just a normal speedboat, moves through the water and there's lots of drag on it, get this thing up and surf it across the top of the sand. Weird. Absolutely weird. That's the plot, that's the plan, or one of the ideas. But does it work? How much energy does it take? And then Robert Kennedy, he said, put the man on the moon, and the most important words of that whole mission that he gave the Yankees all those years ago, and return him safely to Earth. So this lot, put Andy Green into this car, get him to 1,600 kilometers an hour, and bring him safely back to the pits. That's the mission. So how does it stop? How much drag has it got? Aerodynamic drag and rolling resistance drag. There's 3 braking systems that it's got. Once he's gone through the run, throttle will be closed, and we'll talk about, and I'm hearing clicking. I love the sound. This is like your gas braai. You know, when you turn it on and you've got piezoelectrics in it. It's a bit more complex than that, but the principles are exactly the same. You've got a spark, you've got some fuel, you've got some oxygen, and then it goes boom, and it'll make some noise. So talking about the braking systems, the rocket, it's a enriched hydrogen peroxide material that gets fed by a V8 550 horsepower Jag engine at the moment. They are going to electric pump to pump 40 liters of this hydrogen peroxide oxidant into the rocket part. So the jet engine, the fighter from a Griffin, accelerates the thing up to, they say, about 500 miles an hour, and then the rocket gets ignited, and the rocket really, it gathers 40 kilometers a second or some, I don't know, it's hell of a fast. So they'll go through reach the end of the measured mile, and then shut the power down. The drag of the vehicle will take over and start slowing it down. Then they'll deploy the air brakes out the side of the huge big flappy thingies out the side of the car, and that will start to slow it even more. And then as it slows down further, then the parachutes get deployed, and lastly, the AP racing brakes will bring it to a standstill. And then bring the car back to the pits, check it out, plan the next run, and go and do it again and again. So it looks like we're starting to get some action. The man's boots, it's not because he's missing. Well, he's sitting inside the thing because you've got to do that. Have we got action? And the reason we're saying have we got action is that's when I know to go to the other side of the stripe, because it's been one of those challenge things where the guy writes and he says, there's the stripe, I dare you to come and stand on this side. So he said to us, we can stand here until that thing starts making noise. There's a guy who says to me that I can't stand here and I've got to go and stand over there, but I will. So I'll move out of picture because I can't stand here. And the noise is about to start. Listen to that. Woo! Well, there you go. That is the end of their dry starter. There was some noise. There was some boom, boom, boom at the end, and all those were just extra blasts of air that go through it. Through the system, you got the driver in the car. He's talking to the engineer in the front, and there was a whole lot of signals going backwards and forwards. And yes, I think that they are relatively satisfied with it. They may carry on with another one. Don't see them trying to looking like they're standing down yet. And of course, Henk chose the prime spot, right in front of this thing. that's for his camera, because if it goes, Henk, it will be funny. You look like a society with that spike in the front. It'll go through your right kneecap. Not that your knees are that close to the ground. But yeah, guys, the desert has come alive to the sound of a griffin being blown. That's probably the filter just slammed down because somebody said I need to be the responsible adult. Well, can I take a risk in going over the stripe, Pink? What do you think? I think, what the hell? Right, boys and girls, that's about it for Motorsport Madness on a Monday. We hope you've enjoyed this startup. We've got some surprises for you. They have, apart from the dust storm that's just coming through here, it's actually quite like a little whirlwind. We do have some other surprises for you, one of them being a look inside the hangar, the pit box. We've been told that we can do that. So for now, from raceday.tv at Hakskeen Pan in the Northern Cape on a beautiful day. Enjoy work. We're also working. Thanks for watching. Cheers.